Even if you don't think you're good at baking, you could be an hour and a half away from eating these ultimate gooey fudgy brownies. You just pour chocolate chips into a microwave-safe bowl. Now use a half cup measure and scoop out a half cup of chocolate chips and set them aside for later. Next, you'll add in butter, just 1 stick. For this Kerrygold, you just basically cut a brick in half, and that is the same as 1 stick. And then you microwave it. I do it for 30 seconds, and then it comes out squidgy like this, and then you stir it till it's nice and almost smooth, and then you'll need to put it back in the microwave for another 30 seconds or so. And then you just stir it till it's smooth and glossy, like this. Next, you'll need sugar. I do 1.25 cups, which might make people gasp, but a lot of sugar is actually what makes the brownies crackle on the top. And then you want to add your eggs. I add 3, and the sugar actually acts as a buffer so that the eggs don't scramble in the hot chocolate. So once you crack those in, I'm using regenerative eggs here. That's why they're so orange and beautiful, but you can use whatever you have. And then you add in 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt or regular salt, whatever, and then 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. If you want to deepen the flavor of these with coffee, now would be the time to add in about 1 tablespoon of concentrated coffee or espresso, but it's totally up to you. Then you break up the eggs and you stir it. You definitely don't want to hurry this step because scrambled eggs is not a good flavor for brownies. Now for the flour. 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour is perfect for this, but if I'm bringing these to a party, I actually like to make them gluten-free. I can barely tell a difference, and then my gluten-free friends feel like I love them, which I do. You stir it until it's super smooth like this, and then you pour it into a parchment-lined baking pan. Or if you don't have parchment paper and a fancy 8-inch pan, you can grab whatever you have that's about the same size and put it in aluminum foil. Okay, so you scrape out the bowl with all the batter and you put it into the pan. Now you take those chocolate chips that you reserved and you sprinkle them over the top, and then use a knife to swirl them around and kind of get the chocolate chips to sink below the surface of the brownies. Now you're going to bake it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. You'll know they're done but still gooey in the center when you insert a toothpick in the center and some of the brownie batter sticks to the toothpick and will roll up in your fingers like modeling clay. There are 2 ways to eat these brownies: warm and right now, or I kind of like them cold because then the chocolate chips get crunchy and I love that, but they're also delicious right now when they're warm and gooey. If you do decide to do them cold, what you would do is just let them come to room temperature and then stick them in the freezer or the fridge for a couple of hours. You can actually cut them perfectly, put jam in the middle, dip them in ganache, and serve them at some kind of fancy tea party, which I might show you in another episode. So what do you say? Give these a try and trust me.